Okay. So we were saying earlier that we were on the topic of the circle of knowledge. Okay. In order for us to help other people, we can only speak from their circle of knowledge. When we speak from their circle of knowledge, essentially, we expand our own circle of knowledge. We ask them, and we ask them with humbleness and the authentic desire to know. And when we have their knowledge, we encompass their knowledge into our knowledge expands. Okay, that is the benefit of the circle of knowledge. Our knowledge expands, and then what we know now encompasses what they know. So when we speak, it is simple to speak on the same level. Like earlier we said, there is no generation gap. There is only an awareness gap. Okay, now that we have expanded our awareness about ourselves and awareness about other people, there's no more generation gap. So when our knowledge encompasses their knowledge and we can speak from their knowledge, then we can begin to help them. Okay, and it comes with a formula as well. And the beauty of this philosophy is that once we understand universal principles in natural law, then we can apply them, we can align ourselves with those laws, and our life can be pretty simple. Okay, we can overcome life's challenges, difficulty, without having to spend too much effort going against the flow of the river, without having to pay too much price in terms of pain and suffering. And the formula for helping other people with knowledge, if we want to give advice or anything, is as follows. So if we want to help anybody know anything, we let's see, there when it comes to helping other people, we can help people know things. We can help people understand things. Okay, we can help them thoroughly comprehend. So I'm going to use the word comprehend to indicate a deeper level of understanding. Comprehend. And ultimately, we want to help people experience transformation. Transformation. Okay. A transformation is simply a change. Could be a small transformation, could be a big transformation. Not knowing how to tie your shoes to knowing how to tie your shoes for the rest of your life is a transformation. Not understanding our children to being able to connect with our children on a close level, affectionate level, intimate level, that is a bigger transformation. Okay. In order to help people know things, we have to establish the belief. Okay, that's important. In order to help people understand anything, we need to know what they know. Okay, so this is this we draw from the circle of knowledge. Okay, the circle of knowledge just kind of say that what they know, that what they know. But here we expand it a little bit. What they know can involve what they believe, what they know, and what they understand as well. In order to help another person understand, we have to know what they know. In order to help a person fully comprehend some concept, we need to find out what is their inquiry. What have they been wondering about? Okay, it is through the inquiry then we can help them realize and then understand and then comprehend. And then ultimately, in order to help a person transform or make any kind of change, we have to determine their desire, establish their desire. Okay? Just because we have something wonderful to give, be it knowledge or even money or any benefit, if a person does not have desire, then don't bother giving it to him. Hey, Morgan. Thank you for joining us. Did you get a good lunch? You unmute. Did you want to say something, Morgan? You're on mute. I can't hear you.
I said no lunch for me. I was just cleaning my garage and I take a look at the time. I just, stop by here.
Yeah. Set your alarm. Okay, next time set your alarm.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to wait for people.
Okay. I'm ready to
That way
go.
I don't have to repeat as well. Okay, so we were talking about, we are still on the topic of the circle of knowledge. Okay, principle of the circle of knowledge. The only way we can help anybody is to speak to them from their circle of knowledge. Okay, because once we know what they know, we expand our own circle. We speak to them from our circle of knowledge, and we do that by asking them with humbleness and authentic desire to know them. Okay, we do that by listening. Right, we listen with our ears, a physical ear, we hear the sound. We listen with our eyes, we see them, the totality of who they are. We can even see their the affect, the attitude. Okay, listen with our heart, our humanity. So once we have all that, once we did all of that, in order to expand our circle, make their knowledge become knowledge, our knowledge become one with them, right? Then we can help them. This is when we get to give the advice or a instruction. And in order to give the advice or instruction in a way that they will actually take it, we have to go back to the circle of knowledge and re-establish the part that they know, it's now we have expanded into their belief. So in order to help a person know something new, we have to establish the belief system. What is it that they believe? In order to help anybody understand something, we have to know what they know. From knowledge comes understanding. In order to help somebody fully comprehend a concept or anything complicated, find out what is their inquiry, what question do they have? That's why I always ask questions or relate or impression. And if we want to help another person transform, which is to make a change, we have to base on their desire. If they don't want to change, then nothing we can do to make them change. And the thing is, these the thing are not necessarily in order. We don't have to help a person know before they transform. Some people, let's say they just want to transform, which is based on their desire, and then you help them transform, make a change right away. They don't have to fully comprehend anything, but they just want to transform. There are people who, let's say, want digestive health. Okay, maybe they have been living in darkness with respect to their digestive health, and a transformation for those people, if they have the strong desire, you can just give them medication. Okay, to them, a simple medication. This is what salespeople do. They establish your desire, and then they just sell you the drug. You don't even need to know how the drug works. You don't even need to know what effect it has on the body or how it was produced. They have such a strong desire for transformation, for some new reality, to the reality of being in digestive disease, to digestive health. The desire is strong enough. Somebody can just give them a drug, and it'll be, as long as it solves their problem, that is a transformation, to go from not buying, to go from being sick to being healthy. Okay. And then there are times when people want to understand. In order for them to understand, then we have to establish what they know. Just like an example I used earlier, if they want to understand how to do algebra, if your child wants to learn algebra, then we have to establish, do they know how to do arithmetic, simple arithmetic first? Do they know how to do plus and subtract? Do they know how to count? And then the part that the knowledge and belief is important as well. If a person doesn't believe you, they're not gonna listen to you. And if they don't listen to you, they're not gonna know anything new. And so it is important that we establish a person's belief system first. In this philosophy, we try to approach lives from different angle. There are people who are very sort of worldly, right? They're very secular, very worldly, or very scientific. We have to approach them from a scientific angle in order to share this knowledge. It is through the scientific perspective that we can give people some knowledge about life. Some people approach life from to a very cosmological perspective, religious and spirituality. They don't care about religion. They don't care about science. They are interested in religion and spirituality. So we have to approach those people from a spiritual and religious perspective. There are people who are not interested in science or religion, but they do have a sense of, a common sense to them. They have some morality to it. So we have to approach those people from a common sense morality. And we can show them the truth about human life and experience. And it's very simple. All we have to do, whether we are a scientific person or if we are a religious person or if we're just a common sense kind of person, each of those perspectives recognize the importance of aligning ourselves with natural laws and universal principles. In fact, if you're a religious person and you like to obey God and you recognize that, oh, God governs the universe, our life through natural laws and universal principles, then by aligning ourselves with natural laws and universal principles, then we are essentially obeying God. Right? That is from a religious perspective. In fact, a Muslim, for example, the word Islam is a person who submits to the will of God. If a person who submits to the will of God understands that God governs or operates our universe or our life through the laws, on the one hand, from a scientific perspective, there are physical laws, natural laws, such as law of gravity. We cannot defy gravity. We can try to go against gravity at great expenses, right? Building big airplane and big rocket engine. But at the same time, if we also recognize the physical law of, let's say, aerodynamic or lift, then we can make a kite or a glider that will lift us up into the sky with minimal effort. That is obeying God in the terms of physical law. When it comes to human life and experience, there are laws, natural laws, and universal principle. The principle of light, the principle of alignment with desire, the principle of the circle of knowledge. These are natural principles, universal law that God has created that operates our life. And guess what happens when we disobey or when we go against those laws? Then we usually encounter undesirable circumstances in life. We don't get what we want. But if we submit ourselves to the will of God in this sense, right, using the religious perspective reference, if we submit ourselves to the will of God, obeying God's law, simply follow the universal principles and natural law that we have presented, then we can go from point A to point B with minimal effort, sometimes with no effort. And if we add a little bit of effort, added some resource, some effort, some motorized engine, use technology, then we can go very far, very fast. Okay, that is why our master, who have discovered that these laws operate our universe, they govern our lives, and he began to align himself with it. And as a result, he has achieved great health. He has achieved financial freedom. He has achieved wonderful relationship with many, many people. And using technology, AI, using computer technology, we're using Zoom. Those are just those are just greater resources that we can apply to the existing principle, and we can reap the benefit of getting point A to point B very quickly, very fast. Okay. So back to the circle of knowledge. Okay. Most of us here have family relationship or people that we want to help, that we want them to know things, to understand things, to comprehend things, and to transform. We kind of sit down and use this formula, write it down if you have to. What is it that my son or daughter really want? What do they really want? What have they been wondering about? What do they understand, and do they want to know anything? Okay. So this is a powerful tool. This is a formula or a tool that arises out of the principle of the circle of knowledge. Any impression so far on what I just said, or on what we shared earlier, before we move on to a pretty new, concept today? If you know your own circle of knowledge and we are aware of it, then on the one hand, we don't have to be inferior about it, because all we know is what we know. But at the same time, we realize that our knowledge is, we could have precious knowledge that other people don't have. So we don't have to be inferior, nor do we have to be too superior about it. Okay. Let me
We
see.
just had lunch with my brother, and he started saying, I don't know. And what was coming to my mind, we just finished talking about what I know and what I don't know. And I said, oh, you know, but you forgot, right? He says, yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of applied the
Yeah.
situation there.
Yeah. But you forgot.
It's funny how that just came up all of a sudden. You start thinking about it, you know more yourself, and then you're aware.
Yeah.
Hearing.
You're applying the principle of mental activation.
Yeah.
Every time you use it, you apply the mental activation. Okay. So, in point words of wisdom, did we write down the word of wisdom? It doesn't matter how long we've been alive. What matter is when we realize. Okay, let's write that down. I think that is a good word of wisdom. That is a conclusion to the circle of knowledge. Okay, words of wisdom. It does not matter how long we have been alive. Okay. What matter is when we realize. Okay. That is a point of transformation. And with that, let me offer you an image. An image is like we are in a dark tunnel. Okay, we're in a dark tunnel, and then at the far end of the tunnel, there's a point of light. As we move closer and closer to the light will get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. But we may not realize that we are getting more knowledge. We may not realize that we're getting closer and closer to the truth until that moment when we actually exit the tunnel. A Vietnamese teaching that they used to tell little children is the same analogy, but it's the analogy of a frog sitting under a well. A well, right? The frog sitting deep under a well. A well is a big hole in the ground that people dig in order to draw water. Right? It's a big cylinder. The frog is sitting inside the cylinder, and as the frog looks up, it sees a big circle, and it says, that is all there is in terms of the sky. The sky about this big. Right? When the frog looks up and he says, you know, I know what the sky, how big the sky is. Okay, a frog can argue with another frog, and I know how big the sky is. It's about this big. And if that frog will do nothing, if that frog does nothing in terms of acquiring knowledge and expanding his awareness and perception, the sky will always be that big. Okay, just like we're in a dark tunnel, if we never move toward the light, then the light will nothing be just a point far, far away. But if the frog makes enough effort to climb out of the well, then the moment he climbs out of the well, the sky isn't just a circle anymore. It's not even a big circle. It's a completely different perspective. 300-degree perspective. Just like we're in the tunnel, we're walking toward the tunnel. As we go through this knowledge, right? Each time we revisit the knowledge, we're getting a little closer and closer to the exit. And we may feel that circle getting bigger and bigger, right? We're getting closer to the light. But we may not feel much transformation. My life is the same, feels pretty much the same. However, there will come to be a point where you exit the tunnel. And then the change will be drastic. Right? So don't despair. Myself, I have, gone through some dark night when I feel like all my studying isn't going anywhere. My life isn't really changing. All this effort isn't really changing. That is because there is that breakthrough moment. There is that breakthrough moment between being in the tunnel and being outside of the tunnel. Being in the well and seeing the circle getting a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit bigger, but not much different until that last moment when we step out of the tunnel, step out of the well, and our perspective completely change. Okay, so that's still a little bit of hope for those who have been struggling in the dark, like myself, in many years. Another analogy is an avalanche. Right, an avalanche is a how do you say a snow slide, right? So snow will fall onto the mountain, and every time a snowflake, it's very tiny, it's very thin, it's very light, and a single snowflake will do nothing. It'll just land. It'll just land. It'll just land. It's just land. It'll build up, build up, build up, and you now never sense anything until that moment where enough snowflake has fallen onto the mountain that the very last snowflake becomes too heavy. No matter how light that last snowflake is, it's become too heavy, and it will cause the entire mountain to collapse. Same thing with landslide, okay? So our knowledge, transformative knowledge, is like that. We may accumulate knowledge, and if nothing feels change, we may not experience any change or transformation until that last moment where the last snowflake falls on our mountain of knowledge and we experience a landslide or an avalanche. And different people, we don't know where they are along this line, along in the mountain. We don't know how big their mountain of snow has been. We don't know how close they are to the exit of the tunnel. Some people could be deep inside. It'll take them a long time to get to that exit. Some people, it's right there. I just need to say one word, give you one line, and then they've already exited and they experience the transformation. But that's the beauty of transformative knowledge, is that it'll get us closer to the light. It'll get us closer to the end of the tunnel. But when you do get to the end of the tunnel, your entire life is going to change in a drastic way. Okay, so that's an imagery. Okay, words of wisdom. It does not matter how long we have been alive. Okay, what matter is when we realize. It's kind of rhyme, right? Alive and not realize. Okay. Okay. Give me one moment. Be right back. Okay, so since we are on the topic of universal laws and principles, universal law and principle. Let's begin afresh and regenerate the purpose of our sharing. Once again, this is a journey, a process, a journey with a roadmap, a process by which we expand our awareness and perception. So the goal and the purpose of our sharing is simply to expand. Okay, our awareness and perception. So far, have you felt that your awareness and perception has expanded just in a few hours? Anybody feel that awareness have expanded? New perceptions, maybe? Have we done it? Have we achieved any of that?
I'm sorry. I was out. Are you asking me about?
I'm asking all of you guys. So the purpose of our interaction is to expand our awareness and perception. In the
Yes.
past few hours since morning, since 7 a.m. until now, does anybody here feel that your awareness and perception has expanded?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good. So we are expanding our awareness and perception in order to create, okay, a life that is healthy, create health, happiness, okay, and peace. Okay, inner peace, outer peace. Expand our awareness and perception. So if health, happiness, and peace is what we want, how do we go about doing that? Okay. Already we agree that there are universal laws and universal principles and natural law that govern our world. And in order to get from point A to point B in a simple, quick way without paying the price of pain and suffering, what are some universal principles and natural laws? We already went through some of them, principle of light, principle of alignment with desire, principle of the circle of knowledge, principle of mental activation. Next, I want to call attention to a natural law called the law of cause and effect.
Effect.
Cause and effect. Okay. The law of cause and effect. For every cause, there's an effect. Okay. Everything has a cause and effect. That is the way our universe, that is the way our life works, cause and effect is the law that governs the physical world. Okay, cause and effect governs the physical world. Let's say we want to eat a fruit, a certain fruit, mango, for instance. Let's say we want to eat a mango fruit. In the physical world, if you want to eat a mango fruit, then somebody had to plant a mango seed. It's that simple. Whatever seed will bear the same type of fruit. If we go and we plant a bunch of guava seed, no matter how many guava seed we plant, we will never get the mango fruit. It's like banging your head against the wall and expecting different result. Okay. The law of cause and effect also governs the spiritual world, cosmological perspective. Okay. The cosmology. Okay, where does everything come from? Where do we go when we die? Cause and effect governs human life and experience. Health and happiness is human life and experience. Okay. In this discussion, we're going to use different perspectives. Okay. In terms of the physical world, right? Oftentimes it is the science that will help us understand the physical world. Okay. As I said before, we want a mango fruit. Ask the scientist; he'll tell you plant the mango seed. Okay. If we want to understand cosmology, which is where human beings come from, where do we go when we die, we ask religion and spirituality. Okay. Here we're mostly interested in human life and experience. We will use science, we will use religion and spirituality, but we will also use common sense morality to explain human life and experience. Okay, we will use science, we will use religion and spirituality, we will use common sense morality. Because our human life experience, it include things in the physical world, it include religion and spirituality. We will use multiple perspectives in order to give us a good answer as to where, what is the cause of good health? What is the effect of happiness? Okay, cause and effect. So there is a formula of the law of cause and effect with respect to maybe I use it on here. I'll use it on here. Okay. There is a formula when it comes to let me see, should I use I'm going to use a different page. Okay. When it comes to law of cause and effect. Oh, hang on. But here, okay, cause and effect. Okay, let's do more. Just clean it. Okay. I'm gonna draw a triangle again. This time I'm gonna write the word causality, which stands for cause and effect. Okay, causality. So if we want a fruit, certain fruit, any fruit, we're gonna need to plant the right kind of seed. Make sense? That's simple to understand, right? This is common sense, right? Common sense morality. If we want the fruit, we just have to plant the seed. But both in the physical world as well as in the religious world, the seed itself does not directly bear the fruit. There is the condition. There's a condition, the soil, the water, the fertilizer, the air, the light. If we throw a seed into concrete, it's not going to take root, it's not going to grow. If we toss a bunch of seed out into the street, birds may come down and eat the seed and will not ever grow into a tree and bear fruit. If we put the seed into shallow ground, it may grow into a small tree, but it will not have a chance to take root, and it too will die before bearing fruit. That's the analogy I have used from the Bible with respect to the seed. Right? The Christian perspective says that the word of God, which is truth and the law of God, when it is thrown into poor condition, it will not bear fruit. And so when it comes to human life and experience, the formula is this is cause, effect, okay, and these are the condition. What we want is good cause, favorable condition, which will give us desired effect. Okay. Good cause, favorable condition will give us desired effect. So another way to write that, from the root up. Okay, so this is the formula for good cause plus favorable condition will give us desired effect. Okay. So when it comes to human life and experience, what are the good causes? The good causes are another way of saying the seed within us. Right? What are the seed within us? Okay, we're going to call it the inner seed. What are the favorable conditions when it comes to human life and experience that will give us the desirable effect? If the desirable effect, we're going to call it the outcome in life. Okay, desired effect is also desired outcome. we have the inner seed. What we're going to need is positive affinity. Okay, positive affinity is a word that refers to our relationship with other people. Okay, our inner seed is our awareness. Okay, our awareness about ourselves, about principles and natural laws, and about other people. When we have the appropriate awareness and we cultivate, just like the conditioning, right? The soil we cultivate, it is a process of cultivating this seed so that we can get the fruit. When we have the right inner seed, the inner awareness, and we cultivate positivity, which is our relationship with other people, then ultimately our life is going to be that which is a desirable outcome. So each of us have initiated already certain desired outcome. Right? We have what we want in terms of our relationship with our children, with ourselves, with our health, for instance. We're going to be learning about positive affinity in a little later section, maybe tomorrow or maybe in the weekly sharing. But we're going to focus on the inner seed for now. Okay, inner seed. And back to the three perspective. Okay, so there is a perspective of science. There's perspective of religion and spirituality. There's a perspective of common sense morality. Right now, we're going to borrow the perspective of science to understand what is the good inner seed that is within us that will eventually give rise to the kind of desirable outcome that we have in life. Okay? Okay. So from a scientific perspective, the question is, what are some good inner seed within us that will ultimately give us the desirable outcome in life? Borrowing from the scientific method, okay, the scientific method created in order to explain how reality works, how our physical world works. When the scientists initiate the scientific method, they begin with a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a statement of the final outcome of how things are, the way they are. And then scientists will construct a set of experiments with many, many different steps that will lead to that final outcome to prove the hypothesis. Once the hypothesis is proven true, then it becomes a theory. It becomes a theory or a law. Okay? So the scientific method begins with the outcome in mind, and they work backward, and they reconstruct a bunch of steps, experiment to bring about that outcome. So we're going to borrow that. So we're going to focus on the outcome of our life. Okay? The outcome of our life using the scientific method is the final effect. Okay, so over here, I'm going to write, let me make sure I get it right. Yeah, okay. Outcome. Okay. Would you agree that our life situation as it is right now is the final outcome? Our inner being, our health status, our relationship status, our financial standing, wherever we are, it is the final outcome. It is the effect part of the equation of causality, of cause and effect. Okay, cause, condition, and effect. The seed, the condition, the seed, the soil, and the fruit. Whatever that we are experiencing today is essentially the fruit of all the things that has happened before that. Okay. So here's a question. Okay. For those of you who have not, who have not, who have already done this interaction, just kind of refrain. Let me see if I can work with some new people. Morgan, are you still on the microphone? Okay, maybe not.
Yes, I am. No, yes,
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
I'm
So
listening.
let me ask you, okay? What is one word that can describe a direct relationship about the cause and effect of our life condition today? What is one thing, what is the word that can describe what directly bring about the outcome that we have in life today? Any word that can come to mind. Considering our life and all the things that happen or whatever, right? Where we are today is called the outcome. Our health, our relationship, our finance. What brought about that outcome? The one word that is most directly related to our outcome. It
I don't know which one is the correct one.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's correct or not. Okay. Just what do you think? I'm using the principle of the circle of knowledge. I'm beginning with what you know. I am establishing what you know, believe, and understand, so that I can help you expand your circle of knowledge. Okay. So it doesn't matter whether it's right or not. It is important for me to know where you stand. So what do you think if you can come up with one word that describe the cause that leads to the effect, which is the outcome that we have in life today?
To me, if all was correct way is going, the outcome is going to be happiness.
That's fine. Okay, if
Joy
happiness,
of life. Yeah.
if happiness, okay, that's fine. If happiness is the outcome that we want in life, what is the cause of it as far as ourself is concerned? What can we control in terms of cause and effect?
To me, our mind.
Ourselves, our mind.
Yeah.
Okay,
Our
our
mind.
mind. That's good. Okay.
The mind. Yeah.
What about a mind? The mind is pretty complicated. What about a mind that bring about a direct outcome that we have in life today? What about our mind that brings about the direct outcome that we have in life today?
Just, I'm telling you my belief, my idea.
Yeah.
Maybe my answer is wrong. Maybe I'm going the wrong direction, but this is the way I'm realizing,
Okay.
your lecture.
Yeah.
If I can, make in my mind with the all step of effect.
What is the cause? Okay, we're looking for the cause. We're looking for the inner seed in the formula of causality. It is the cause that will lead to the effect. If the effect is the outcome that we have in life today, what is the cause within us? What is the inner seed within us? What is the cause within us that give rise to the outcome that we have in life today? What is the most direct cause?
Is successful.
To
If to be successful,
be successful is the outcome. Okay.
But what is the cause? The cause is going to be the
If the outcome is the effect, what is the cause? If successful is the outcome,
the cost is our behavior.
getting very good. Okay, you're getting
Our
close.
behavior.
Okay.
No matter what, how much financially we spend, no matter what, how much we are spending time.
Very good. Okay.
No matter what, yeah, is our behavior.
Okay. Where do our behavior come from?
Or our belief.
Where do our belief come from?
It depends on that triangle you mentioned. Is a cosmos,
Okay.
is a spirituality or religion that we believe it, and then physically, as a human being, we are acting, because we have to feed the seed, right? And then we have to feed seed correctly. If we make a mistake, you know, everything we building during the time, everything is fell down.
Everything you said is correct. Okay, everything you
Yeah,
said
but
is correct.
all
Okay,
of them has a related together. You
exactly.
cannot
All of
just
them is
focusing
related.
on one.
And yes, it is
Yeah.
all related to the formula of cause and effect. Okay, there's a series of, you know, for every cause there's an effect, and that effect is a cause for another effect, and that effect is a cause for another effect. We have a chain of cause and effect, chain of causality that leads to the final outcome that we have today, which is our physical health, our financial situation, our relationship status, etc. Okay, so how about Ron and Jihai? Would you like to offer the answer that the sages have taught us?
Your outcome comes from your choices.
Yeah,
Choices you've made.
the choices that we've made. Okay, our outcome in life today came from the choices that we made. Okay, came from the choices that we've made. Right? Morgan, do you get that? Think about it. It is the choice that we've made in life that have brought us to this outcome today.
But
When we were little,
is it sometimes is not our choice?
well, if
Do you
if
believe
it's not
it?
our choice, then that is a condition. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Right? There's stuff
Okay.
that seems to be outside of us. Okay. We can't control that just yet. In this perspective, in this system of reference, the scientific perspective reference, we're looking for the inner seed within us that we can take control of, that we can take ownership of. And we can take ownership of our choices, right? When we were little, you know, what choice did we make in terms of what to eat and what not to eat? What kind of clothes to wear? What friend do we choose to play with? What subject of study do we engage in? What school did we go to? Whom did we get married with or not get married with? Do we want to have children or not have children? How many? All of those are choices that have led to where we are today. When I was, one time I was driving and then I stopped at the red light. I was stopping at the red light and another car slamming to the back of my truck and totaled my truck. On the one hand, I cannot control what other people did, right? At this point, using this perspective, I cannot control, but it was my choice to get in the car and drive that particular car, take that particular road and stop at that particular light. So it is the choices in life that have brought me to the outcome that I have today, right? Pretty simple. The choices in life have brought us to where we are today. And all of those choices influence us every step of the way, bring about an effect, and that bring about another effect. Okay, so we can, with this, we can come up with a statement, okay, that the root cause of life begins with me. Okay, in fact, let's write that down. The root cause of life begins with me. Essentially, I take ownership of my choices. Because if I don't take ownership of my choices, then I'm essentially saying, oh, here's my life. Other people, please change it for me. Because only when we take ownership of the root cause of my own life can I begin to change my life. Right? The root cause of life begins with me. And we can put in parentheses, but I don't blame. But I don't blame. That's an important part. The root cause of life begins with me, but I don't blame. The root cause of life, if my life right now is something that if the outcome of my life is something that is undesirable, let's say undesirable health status, undesirable relationship standing, undesirable financial status, the root cause of life begins with me. But I don't need to blame myself for that. Do you know why? Because at the moment of our choosing, we made the best possible choice. Had we known better, we would have made different choices, but that's after the fact, after more knowledge. At the moment of our choosing, we only knew what we knew, right? In fact, the circle of knowledge, we should have written the line, I only know what I know. Where's that circle of knowledge? Okay, in the circle of knowledge, we know what we know. You can write it down. I only know what I know. Had I known better, I would have made better choices. But at the moment of choosing, whether I chose to wear this yellow shirt or red shirt, whether I choose to get in my car and get out in the street and drive or not, I didn't know any better. I knew what I only know. And so I made that choice based on the best of my knowledge at that time. And so there's no need to blame ourselves for anything, even if the choices turn out to have undesirable consequences later. We'll learn about that in a little bit. But basically, it is important that we come to this new realization that the root cause of life begins with me.
Frank, may I add one more, please? And it's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my fault. You can say it's not my fault. Okay.
Yes.
But it is not my fault.
Yeah, because that moment you did your best, choose
You
the
did your
best
best.
option. Yes.
Okay. The reason I avoid the word not my fault, because Catholic has a prayer of contrition.
Oh.
Okay. We say, my fault, my grievous fault for all the things that I've done and all the things that I have failed to do and I cause suffering for other people. It is part of the Catholic penance to recognize your fault, to take responsibility for it. So when we say it's not my fault, we actually can't go against the Catholic understanding of responsibility. However, the Catholic prayer of contrition, my fault, my grievous fault, it is taking responsibility, but the next part is about offering it up to God. So you actually no longer take responsibility. You're no longer liable for it. Somebody else takes responsibility for you. So you are actually free from it. So it is the same thing, essentially go back. It is not my fault because God has taken it for me.
I don't blame. That's good. That's
Okay.
more neutral. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. And when in the Catholic prayer of contrition, what happened is that after we take responsibility for the fault, we offer it God, we experience a state of serenity, salvation. We are no longer pulled down by negativity of blaming ourselves and resentment. People who go through life blaming themselves cannot change themselves. It is only through letting go of fault that we experience any kind of salvation.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. In fact, during my time of personal exploration, and I did share with my dad some of the bad things that I've done, and my dad had the blessing and the wisdom to tell me that, Frank,
here we say life begins with
my dad said that God's love is greater than all your fault. So that realization helped me. Oh, okay. Yeah, my fault is nothing. It is the process of removing ourselves from the blaming. It is the blaming that that pulls us down and prevent us from transforming. Okay, so you can say root cause of life begin with me, but it's not my fault. That's okay. But if you're a Catholic, you can say the root cause of life begin with me, but I don't blame. Okay. So here's a question. And we can do this interaction with Morgan as well. Morgan, you're wearing a red jacket.
Yeah, it's cold.
Okay. Why did you wear a red jacket and not a blue one? I think blues are nice. I think blue would look better on you.
Thank you.
Why did you wear a red one?
I didn't think about it. I just picked it up one, warm jacket to warm me.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But I get your point because
why did but why did
I
you wear
choose
it?
to wear it.
Why did you choose red instead of another color? I'm sure you have other ones in your closet. Why do you choose red instead of something else?
Not a special case, be honest to you. I just pick it up something.
Just pick it out something. I noticed you wearing an earring. That's too troublesome. You should, be like me and Ron, guide. We keep our hair trimmed and our facial hair trimmed, and we don't have to deal with accessory. It's more, more comfortable that way. Why bother with earrings and that? Why bother putting on makeup? Why? Why, Morgan?
Because I like, to be clean, and then
And there are other ways to be clean.
Uh-huh.
There are other ways. Why that way? Why that earring and not another one? I know you have more than one. Why that one? Just consider that one. Okay, you have a green looking one that dangles, right? Why that one and not the other one in your set of accessories?
Okay, yeah, because this is my personality, and I love, to decorate, myself with like a fashion, because I like fashion. And then always, and then I pick some earring to matching with my clothes when I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And then all is my choice. Yeah. To look good, to make me, more self-confidence and make me started with a good day, stay away from depression. And then so many things you can,
Yeah, but there are many ways
bring the reason.
There are many ways there are many other things that you can do to make yourself happy and avoid depression. Why bother with that earring? Why that particular earring? And not the other one?
Because I like it. I like it, to wearing it today.
Yeah, because you like it.
Yeah.
In other words, the choices we make in life is simply because we like it. Or it's another way you actually said it's compatible. You chose that earring because it's compatible with you. You didn't choose another earring. You didn't choose to leave your hair short like me and Ron because it's definitely not compatible with you. The way you wear your glasses, the way you wear your earrings, the way you wear your hair, your red jacket, it is because you like it, or it's compatible. Compatible. Okay, it's a good match. All right, Jihuan, why did you marry that guy and not another other guy? Right?
Oh, definitely compatible.
Yeah. If you had said he's a good husband, he's a good man, then I can tell you there are 4 billion other men who is also good. If you tell me he's rich, he's smart, I can tell you there are 4 other billion men who are also rich and smart.
Right.
But in the end, you choose that one because you like him or he is a compatible match for you.
Right. Simple as that.
It's that simple, right? Right? Do you guys get that?
Yes.
It's simple. The choices in life, the outcome that we have in life came about as a result of all the choices that we've made. And the choice that we've made is simply because we like it or we are compatible match with it. And therefore, we don't need to blame ourselves either. In fact, at the moment of our choosing, the reason why we choose anything is because at that moment, we are a compatible match for that choice. If we had been a different person, we would have made a different choice. If we had different knowledge, if different understanding, different realization, then would have made a different choice. And those other choices would have been a compatible match for who we are at that moment in time. Okay, so the root cause of life begins with me, but it's not my fault. And the choices are a compatible match with me. Okay, a compatible match with me. Later on, we will learn about energy vibration. Later on, we will learn about affinity and attraction, and we will learn why that it is impossible for us to make any other choices. In fact, at that moment in time, who we are, our being, our knowledge and understanding, our emotion, our mindset, our spirit at that moment in time is the way it is, so that the choice that we make has to be that choice. It cannot be in any other choice. If it is, it's a different dimension. It is a different reality. We would have a different life. And we can't talk about any other possibility because we're not experiencing that. Okay? Science has proven that all outcome nowadays, with the latest modern science, especially quantum physics, they have has a theory that all possibility exists, all possible outcome in life exists, but we only experience this outcome because as a human being, as an individual, we are compatible for this outcome in life. We are all the choice that we've made. It's compatible for who we are. We got that so far? Yeah, agree? Okay, so we can move on, right? So now that we understand that our choices has a direct impact on our outcome in life, then we can go about. If we want a different outcome, guess what? All we got to do, change the choice. If we want a different fruit, just change the seed. Make different choices. We can't go back and fix the choices in the past. There's no point in blaming ourselves either. But we can always plant new seed, bear new fruit, get new outcome in life. With respect to our health, with respect to our relationship, with respect to our finances. Okay. But is it simple to change our choices? Right? Can I just say, if I want to be a millionaire, what can I do to give myself $1 million tomorrow? Not all that simple just yet. Okay, so we get to ask the question, if the choices are the outcome, what are the seed that will lead to those choices? Okay, and here, the science of psychology has given us it offered us an answer. It is usually a person's personality that will lead them to make a certain type of choices. Okay? an outgoing person would tend to make outgoing choices. They spend more time outdoor with other people. Personality. An introvert, for example, would spend more time indoor, and so they would tend to make choices relating to their personality. The choice that our personality, that's why when we, let's say when we get married, we may go on website, I went onto a dating website and I fill out my personality profile, okay? And that became a match for my wife because the choice that I've made is a result of my personality. That's all it means, okay? A personality is just a set of, the way we are that give rise to the choice that we've made. And so we get, okay, so if we want to change the outcome in life, all we got to do is change our choices. And in order to change our choices, all we got to do is change our personality by the law of cause and effect. But is it simple to change our personality? There's got to be something else besides personality. Okay, so thankfully, the scientists in the field of psychology has helped us to determine that our personality is made up of our habits. Okay, so if we want to change our personality, we want to change ourselves, be the change that we want to see in the world, we change our habit. If we have the habit of getting up late in the morning, missing the bus, being late to school, it's going to have a certain effect on, outcome later in life. If we want to be successful, for example, we can change the time, the waking up in the morning. And what is habit? Habit is nothing more than a series of action, right? It is just a collection of action that has been repeated over and over. Okay, so if we want to change our habit, just change our actions. If we change our action, we will change our habit, it will change our personality, cause us to make new choices, and we would reap new outcomes in life. Okay. Actions is a set, multiple action repeated, bring about habit, bring about personality. But have you ever tried to create new action or tell people to change their action and it doesn't work? Because there's something else involved. Okay, if action is the outcome, if we want to affect new action, let's say your coworker having issues and we want to affect new actions, then just telling them to change their action, it might not work. That is like trying to fix the fruit after the fruit has already been sprouted. Okay, let's say we want a mango fruit, but we inadvertently planted a guava seed. It is now bore the mango, the guava fruit. No matter what we want to do with the guava fruit, we're not going to get the mango fruit because it's a guava fruit. It's not going to get the mango fruit. Same thing with action. If action is the fruit, if we try to change the action, it doesn't work very well because there is something else that is the cause for that action. Okay? And fortunately, in the field of science of psychology, there is a form of therapy that help people with depression and people with mental health problems. There's a form of therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy. Behavior are the actions. Cognitive is your thinking. So I'm going to use the simple word thinking. It is our thinking that will inform our action. If we can change our thinking, then we can change our action. A different set of action brings about a different set of habit, pretty soon we have a different personality, would give rise to new choices, and therefore our outcome in life would also change. Has any of you noticed that by attending these knowledge sharing in this philosophy, your thinking has changed? Yeah, I see some head shaking, right? Our thinking has changed. Our awareness has been expanded. Our wisdom has been advanced. Our thinking has changed. And as a result, our action has changed our habit and our personality. And therefore, our choices and our outcome in life has changed. Okay? Cognitive behavioral therapy is a form of therapy that the psychologists, okay, scientists in the field of psychology help a person change their behavior, change the way they think. So if you have any family member that you want to change their action, you can help them change their thinking or their thought. Okay, the way a person's thinking will determine the direction of their life. But have you ever tried to change your thinking and not work? Yeah. Notice that we have a certain way of thinking about, let's say, our children, certain way of thinking about our health and about our finances, that changing that way of thinking is not that simple. There's got to be something else as well. So now we go a little bit deeper. If thinking or our thought or our mentation, if thinking is the outcome, then what are the seed to thought? What are the seed to thinking? What are the seed to thinking? And fortunately for us, sages have taught us that it is our belief. Okay, our beliefs determine our thinking. Our belief system, for instance, our belief determines our thinking. A person who have a certain set of belief will think a certain way, would give rise to a certain type of action and a set of habit and a certain personality, and they will make certain choices that will give rise to a certain type of outcome that is in alignment with their belief. If our beliefs are self-limiting, if we believe that we are normal and ordinary, if we believe that we're not good enough, then guess what? The way we think will be not good enough. The way we action and our habits and personality and our choices in life will reflect the belief that we are not good enough. If we believe that we are trivial, right? If we believe that doing anything will cause failure, will cause people to criticize us, it is our belief that is the barrier to our growth. But if you can change your belief, break through those 6 barriers, then we can really grow and mature as an individual. Yeah, it is our belief. But is it simple to change your belief? Of course, if you can change a person's belief, okay, and this happens all the time, you can. If you change a person's belief, it will very quickly influence the choices. Okay, so now we get to examine our belief and our belief systems. Some people believe in science. Some people believe in religion. Some people believe in just common sense. But if we can help a person expand their perspective, open the beliefs up, then we can influence their choices. And it's the same with us. If we allow ourselves to change our belief, it will very quickly change our choices and thereby very quickly change our outcome in life. let's see. When it comes to belief, okay, there is, we want things, we want, we all have a certain desire. Earlier, we said that we want to establish a certain desire, okay? And we also talk about, yes.
Isn't it belief is coming from our knowledge that you talk about it before. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy to change your belief, to go through the whole step.
There is
and
something
change your
else.
personality.
Yeah, there is something else. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about belief. Thank you, Morgan, for pointing us to that deeper level. Okay. There's something else. There's a concept of let's see. I want to call your attention to this one. Conscious desire. Okay. Versus inner belief. Okay, there's a conscious desire and there's an inner belief. Let's say we have the conscious desire of, I don't know. Let's use that older example. Let's say a woman has a conscious desire of happy marriage, being in a happy marriage. But she has the inner belief on men are all jerks. So which one's going to win? The conscious desire or the inner belief? It is the inner belief that's going to win. If a person has a conscious desire of being a millionaire, but has the inner belief that he or she doesn't have enough knowledge or enough money or enough condition to do any kind of investment, it is the inner belief that's going to win. If we want our children to be respectful, but we believe that they are disrespectful, now we're getting, right? If we want our children to listen to us, yet we believe that they are disrespectful, if we believe that they're not good, then it is our inner belief that is going to determine the way we think, act, determine our choices with respect to our children, and thereby it is going to be our outcome. Okay, this part is important. Our conscious desire versus our inner belief. If we want to be healthy, and we know, we even have the knowledge of how to, let's say, exercise and be healthy, but we believe that we don't have enough time. We believe that we don't have enough energy. Then guess what's going to win? It is the belief that I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy, that's going to win against the conscious desire to be healthy. Okay. So how do we get to the root of our belief? Fortunately, we learn from the master. We learn from the people who have already succeeded. Okay, don't listen to people who have failed and tell you how they failed. Listen to people who have already succeeded and how they have succeeded. And the people who have succeeded in human life and experience, we call them the sages, we call them wise people. What they have pointed out to us is that mental images determine our belief. Okay, it gets more and more fundamental, more and more simple. Beliefs can get very complicated. Thinking, mentation get complicated. Action can be very, habit and personality get very complicated. Our choices in life oftentimes is also complicated. But when get down to the root of it, it is our mental images that will make up our beliefs. And the mental images are even more simple. They are basically what we know, what we say, what we see, what we hear. Our mental images is made up of what we hear, what we see, what we say, and what we know. Our mental images are made up of what we hear, what we see, what we say, and what we know. Okay? So let's take a look at this formula. Okay, this formula has a name. This is called a write down formula for the root cause of life. Okay, formula for the root cause of life, or the root cause formula. I like the square root symbol. Formula for the root cause of life. The root cause of life is what we hear, what we see, what we say, and what we know. It is our mental images. Okay, let me explain. Okay, so let's see if we can prove this, right? This is a scientific process. Okay, let's see if we can prove it. Okay. Morgan, let's think about a person. Okay, anybody important to you. Okay, it could be your daughter, it could be anybody else. And I want you to write down 5 words that you associate with that person. Go ahead and write it down. Each of you can practice as well.
Write it the good
Just
thing
write,
or the
just
bad
write
thing?
the first 5 words. Just write the first 5 words that come out of your mind when you think about that person.
Okay. When I see her is beauty is I can see. Then following with that one, no say see here, right? As a mental image.
Okay, no.
And
So forget this for now. Okay, forget this for now. Let's practice. Okay, think about a person. I want you to write down 5 words that convey your mental image or your feelings about that person.
feeling, first love.
Feelings or anything that, the 5 words that first come up when you think about a person, whoever it is that's important to you. Maybe somebody you want to help.
Yeah. First, love.
Okay.
Second is worried. Obviously worried about her. And then third one is future. I'm going to write it down because every day I'm thinking those.
Yeah. So I'll write. I'll just confirm what you said as well. So you said love,
worried,
worried. Okay.
future,
And then future.
and then the fourth one is how far can I be close to her as a relationship?
Too close?
Close to
Yeah.
her.
Okay. Close. Okay.
And it means give her more love.
Okay.
And then the 5-1, happiness.
Happiness.
Because her happiness is my happiness too, right? Because she's close to me. She's everything to me.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so you have these images when you think about another person.
Mhm.
What do you believe about her? What do you believe about her?
I believe, very strong. She's very strong.
Mm-hmm.
She has knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
but she don't know how to use this knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's what is worried me. The way I see her. That's why I'm worried about her future, because I'm worried, she's gonna fail.
So now we're getting it. Now
Yeah.
we're really getting the real word. The other one, you're just pretending.
Yeah. And then
So now
I
we're talking about
realized that
fail. Okay.
for that conclusion, I'm going through this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I realized that love is not enough. Material is not
Now we're
enough.
getting the truth of it. Love
Yeah.
is not. That is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. See, the new generation parents, just give them money, everything's, kids, want is they're gonna feed them.
There you go.
Then that's why I stop it, because money is not gonna fix. Love is not enough. And then I'm just gonna make it shortcut to see her happiness. Then how can I see the happiness? There is some gap here.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to find the right way. Maybe I'm a wrong person to show the right path to her. Am I? I don't think so.
Maybe. Okay, I am the wrong person.
And then if I'm a wrong person, which is I don't believe it, not, because I know what am I doing. But if she doesn't believe me, how can I encourage her to show her some mentor to follow?
Yeah. Okay. So we're starting to get to the root of it, and you can kind of see
Okay.
it already, right?
It doesn't matter, not in my kid, for friends, for neighbor. If somebody, you feel, somebody is struggling with their life, which step should we go to help them
Right.
in
So
general?
on the one hand, it is clear and obvious that you have established a certain desire for your daughter. You want to help her. That is your conscious desire, right? Your conscious desire is to help. But we saw a bunch of inner belief. Yes, you have a certain belief about love. You have a certain belief about the future. You want her to be happy. But at the same time, they're in conflict with worry. They're in conflict with powerful words like fail. I'm not good enough. Love is not enough. Maybe I'm the wrong person. So you look at this picture, this mental image. Okay, you look at this mental image, and it's a mix between positive and negative. All of this positive and negative energy is canceling each other out. No wonder you've been paddling and paddling and paddling along the river and you have been getting nowhere very fast.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, part of you is going along with the current. You have love, you have, aspiration. But another part is focusing on the negative. The part of you that is focused on the negative, the darkness, that part is preventing the light from coming in. You understand from a conceptual level that in order to bring light into the room, we have to open the window. We just open the window and the light will come in. But another part is you're putting a lock on the window. You're putting a heavy latch on the window. The latch will say, love is not good enough. On the one hand, say, love. On the one hand, say, love is not good enough. Maybe I'm the wrong person. That's another big lock. That's another big chain that is holding back your rocket ship. Another shell. And so, right? Guess what? Your reality in life is a direct result of your mental images. What we see, what we hear, what we know, what we say. The stuff that you have just told me is what you say, right? Negative words, a bunch of negative words. The mental images that about your daughter, they're not all positive. We have failure, we have worry. So when you have a negative mental image, that's going to bring about a set of negative belief. In a long roundabout way, it's going to bring negative thinking, negative action, negative habit, negative personality, negative choices, and it's going to bring about negative outcome with respect to your reality of your daughter. The good thing is there are some positives, so you're not all hopeless. Okay, and it's a good thing that we're here today. We're in this Zoom, we're discussing this philosophy. We're going to remove some of those negativity, eliminate some of those barriers to growth. Okay, break out of those self-awareness, self-limiting self-awareness. And we're going to make new choices. New choices. So how do you make new choices? When it comes to mental images, what you want to do, you want to write this down. When it comes to changing our life, it's very simple. We already gave you just the formula just now. What you want to do is simply change images lead to change life. Okay? Change images, change life. How do you change your images? Okay, so the mental images that we said is made up of what we know, what we say, what we see, what we hear. We can change the saying and the knowing. And what we see and what we hear, we can't always control that because that comes from the outside. But what we can do is start to monitor it like a security. Monitor what we see, monitor what we hear. Monitor what we say to ourselves about other people. That is monitor our hearing as well. Now that we have an expanded understanding of hearing, we can hear ourselves say, and if we monitor what we say, we monitor what we hear, and we know that, oh, what I'm saying about my daughter is negative. By monitoring what we say, by monitoring what we hear, we can change what we say. Same thing with what we hear and what we see. We are constantly being bombarded by the news media, by social media, by other people, and they are not always positive. They have not learned the principle of light. They have not understood that aligning ourselves with our desire is the right way to go if you want to go from A to B very quickly. So what we want to do is begin to monitor what we see and what we hear from other people, from the news, to the media, from ourselves. And once you can take ownership of the seeing and hearing, then we can change what we say and what we know. Okay, because what we know is made up of what we see and what we hear. If we can control what we see and hear, we only allow ourselves to see and hear positive things, then we will begin to know only the positive thing. And when we only know the positive things, if our mental images are positive, then our beliefs will be positive. And that will change our choices, the way we behave with another person, and we have different outcome. Because alternatively, we keep on doing the way we've been doing, paddling against the current, and we keep on getting the same outcome. But we've tried that already. We've tried that already for many, many years, and it didn't work. Got to try something new. And here, the sages have given us a very simple way to do it. Just start monitoring what we say and what we hear. Then we can start changing what we say and what we know. Okay? And if we can do that, okay, what we get is a clear image. Okay? So before, your image is full, it's a mix of positive and negative. It's unclear. Okay? So if we can clarify or make clear image by monitoring and changing our mental images, clear image equals reality. Okay, clear image equals reality. That is something that you want to write down. If we have a very clear image of a lot of negative stuff, guess what? Our image, our reality is very negative. Just ask the woman who thinks men are jerks. Right? If a woman has a very clear image about jerks, then guess what? Her reality is full of jerks. But a person who has a very clear mental image about a healthy and happy relationship, they know everything there is to know about happy and healthy relationship. They have the concept, they have a clear mental image, they are compatible match of healthy and happy relationship, then they're going to have the reality of a happy and healthy relationship. Okay. So let's do a little interaction to illustrate the power of seeing, hearing, saying, and knowing, and how we can change our mental image. Okay. So, Morgan, what is this I'm holding up?
It's green pen.
A green pen. Very good. I agree with you. This is a green pen. Now, if I set this down and I leave the room and a puppy dog comes into the room, puppy dog is an animal that is very close to human being, right? Relatively intelligent creature. If the puppy dog runs in the room and the puppy dog sees this thing, what would the puppy dog do? I mean, we see the green pen and because, we write with it, right? We write or we mark. But if a puppy dog goes into the room and it sees this thing, this, what would the puppy dog do with it?
Piecing as a Buddhistic or something is trying, you know, to grab it and play it.
Yeah, yeah. A
Our
puppy dog.
vision, yeah, I got the point now.
Right. Okay. So the puppy dog would see that as a stick or a toy. It'll, you know, it'll chew it on it. It'll play with it. Okay. You and I, we see this as a green pen because we write it. We make green color. Puppy dog see as a, you know, just a stick or a toy. It'll chew on it. The question is, are we right or is the puppy dog right?
Both of them are right. It depends on our vision, how we can
Both of us are
describe
right.
it.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
of us are right, depending on our perception. Now, if you and I were to leave the room and the puppy dog leaves the room, okay, nobody left in the room, just the pen. Sorry, not the pen. It takes a person. So if nobody's in the room, you and I leave the room, puppy dog leave the room, then what's this?
Nothing.
It's nothing, right? It is nothing. Not because it doesn't exist, it exists. Okay, not because it's not real, it's there, but it is nothing because you and I are not there to perceive it. Puppy dog is not there to perceive it. Okay, it takes a perceiver to perceive something and then give meaning to it. And so when you and I come back into the room, we see this, it has become what? When you and I come back into the room, this become a pen again.
See it, pen again, yeah.
Yeah, a puppy dog runs back in, it becomes a toy or a stick. So here's the next question. Does the what isness of this thing, is this thing what it is, does it come from it or does it come from inside of our mind?
It's inside of the mind.
Yeah, it comes from inside us. We human beings have a perception, a preconceived notion that it is a pen, so we use it to rewrite it. A puppy dog may have a preconception or a notion that it is a toy or a stick, so it'll chew with it. So whatever this is, there's nothing inherent in it. It is all in our mind. It is all in our mind. So we can say that the essence of all things is empty. The essence of all things is empty. The essence of this is empty. There is nothing in it. It is nothing. Not because it doesn't exist, but it nothing because there is nobody to perceive it and give it meaning. Another way of saying it is the nature of all things is empty of meaning. The essence of all things is empty. And because it is empty of meaning, it has the potential to become anything. Okay, because this is empty of meaning, or it is empty, it has the potential to become anything. This pen, instead of a green pen, it could be gold. If I choose this to be gold, it'll be gold. Why? Because I can mass produce this, sell it, make a lot of money and buy gold. If I see that this has the potential to become gold. Puppy dog may not be able to do that because it is an animal. It does not have that kind of awareness and perception like we do. But human beings, we have the ability to change our perception, expand our awareness, and turn this green pen into gold. But it has to begin with the realization that the essence of this green pen is nothing. Because if it is already something, if we are already attached to its penness, then all we can do is right. But if we are not so attached to its identity as a pen, it is essentially nothing, it's essentially empty, then it can be potentially become anything. And so you can also say the essence of all people is empty. Our children, our coworker, our friends, they are nothing until we, from within us, decided so. So if our children fail, or if love is not enough, or who I am is a wrong person, that comes from the thinking, not from the object itself, because the object itself is empty. Another statement that you can talk about yourself is, so the essence of all things is empty, and therefore has the potential to become anything. Okay, you can replace that with all people. The essence of all people or persons is empty, and therefore has the potential to become any person. And with that, we can say something about ourselves. Who I am is by nature no one. Who I am is by nature no one. Therefore, I can become anyone. Who I am is by nature no one.
Correct.
Therefore, I can become anyone. But if I am already someone, then I can not be anyone else. Okay, it is important to come to a realization of emptiness and nothingness within ourselves too, so that we can loosen up that sense of identity and then become somebody else. We can become anyone. But if I'm already someone, if I'm already attached to a certain identity, then I cannot become anyone else. If I am already the wrong person, then guess what? It is my reality, my outcome in life is such that I am the wrong person. So you can stop trying. You're not the right person. But if I am no one, okay, if I am no one, therefore I can become anyone. Essentially, we create new mental images about ourselves. Okay, it is a creation of new mental images by way of hearing, seeing, saying, and knowing. But first we have to get to that emptiness. You cannot, it's like, you know, a cup, okay, like a cup. This cup right here. If it's already got water in it, and if this water, let's say, is dirty, then you can try pour more water, it's not going to get completely clean. You have to empty yourself. If this cup, let's say with coffee, you have to empty the coffee, clean it up, and then put the new juice in it, or if you want to drink juice. Right, but if we try to mix juice with coffee, it's going to be kind of messy. And that is why we've been trying again and again and again to change other people, even to change ourselves. And we haven't gone anywhere because we got this mix of positive and negative mental images within our being, which inform certain set of beliefs that are mixed. And therefore, the choices that we've done is very mixed. And so we get the result that are very mixed. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't. A lot of effort, we can get a little bit ahead, and then the moment we let go, we flow backward into, you know, our where we were before. Did you get any of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do some feedback. Okay, any question, any lesson, any impression?
No question. I got your point completely,
Okay,
and I agree with you.
okay.
And I'm doing it sometimes, but sometimes I'm just out of the path.
Watch what you
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Watch what you say. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Watch what you say. In order to watch what you say, you start listening to yourself. The kind of thing I'm saying to myself and other people. Oh, is it in alignment with what I want? Okay.
Yeah.
When we say I'm, you know, inconsistent or whatever, then that is our reality. So we start watching what we say. We start listening to what we say to ourselves and other people as well. Do Ron and Jihua, do you have anything, any new thing you want to add?
It's something I've been thinking about, like, you know, that old saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Okay.
Well, there's, like say it's your father and your son or whatever, they have different beliefs. That
Okay.
tree, that apple that fell from the tree needs to change their seed, change to a different apple or whatever, create their own individuality.
Okay. Yeah. By initiating emptiness, meaninglessness, and emptiness. All things are essentially empty of meaning. Okay. As long as we're attached to the meaning, we can't really move anywhere.
Mhm. Your beliefs are maybe different or whatever, your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You need to change that seed, change your inner image
Yeah.
and your beliefs.
Okay. I think it's a good time for a little bit of a break, right? How long of a break do you guys need? Next one, we will move on to a system of reference that uses the religious perspective. Okay, that's gonna take a few interaction. This one is a little short, but this one is a powerful one. Okay, this is a scientific perspective. The science begins with the outcome in mind. They set up a hypothesis and they set up a set of experiment to prove that hypothesis. We begin with the outcome in our life, and we arrive at the root of our inner being, the root seed of who we are. And if we can just change that root, that seed, what we know, what we say, what we see, and what we hear, then we will ultimately change our outcome in life. From a physical materialistic perspective, a person who has, let's say, a very clear mental image about the kind of house that they want to build, they will have it. In the Bible, okay, we're just going to linking a little bit with religious. In the Bible, Jesus said that if your belief is strong enough, you can tell the mountain to move from one place to another, and it would move to one place to another. Well, guess what? Human beings have done that, have they not? Yeah, do we not move mountain to build freeways and cities? Yeah, because the science and engineer, the construction workers, they have a clear mental image of what the map of that space look like. They want that mountain to move to another spot, and then they move it, right? They go about the process of bringing people and resources together to literally move mountains. And they believe that it can be done. They have a mental image of what it looked like to clear a certain mountain. They believe it can be done, and they make this kind of choices that would bring about moving a mountain so that they can build freeways and cities. And human beings can do that. Same thing with our children. My wife used to have a relatively undesirable mental images of our son. Okay, he plays game too much. He doesn't listen. He's kind of lazy. And one day, my wife takes my son to Sunday school, and one of his teacher comes out and says, "Hey, hi, are you Minduk's mom?" And she said, "Yes." And the teacher told her, "Oh, did you know that Minduk is a great student? He listened well, he does his work, he raises his hand, he contributes in class." And then my wife experienced a moment of realization. Oh, her mental image is completely different about her son. Therefore, her experience in life with regard to her son is different than the teacher's mental image about her student. And therefore, her experience in life about her student is completely different. And from that moment on, my wife was able to change what she see and hear. But what she see and hear is different. And her teacher said different about her son. It's the same kid, same kid. But different people see and hear differently. She has new mental images. And so my wife began to say things differently and thereby know differently about our son. And now her relationship with our son is a lot closer. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a break. It is
Yes, Frank,
yeah.
can I ask you a favor? Can you just put up the other two pages that follow these? I
The
didn't
last page.
didn't have a chance to.
the long sentence. Oh, on the bottom.
Writing. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who I am is by nature no one. Okay. Therefore, I can become anyone. But if I am already someone, then I cannot be anyone else.
I cannot.
It is the recognition of our nature as empty, as no one, that help us shake loose this thing that we call the ego identity. And thereby shake loose a lot of our suffering.
Yes. What was the page before this one?
The page before this one, the essence of all things,
There it is. Yeah.
empty, and therefore has a potential to become anything.
Okay, awesome. Done.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. How long do you want to break? I want to get back on time, so make sure you set your alarm. I don't want to have
Yes.
to wait around. Okay.
We'll be here.
Let's do 3:45.
Yeah.
How long do you want to wait?
45? How about 4 to 7, right? Is that okay? Oh yeah, no, that's fine. 3:45, I'm fine.
Are you okay? It is now
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much
yeah.
4:30 now.
No,
15 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, 3:45 is fine.
Okay, good.
I'll be back to you soon. Thank
Okay.
you.
All righty.
Okay.
If you're gonna be late, send a text message or something so that we don't have to wait. Okay.
No, I put the alarm. Thank you.
All righty.
Put alarm on. You can
Over to you.
also turn your recording off.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.